Hello friends, I am Omkar Sample and you are watching Message Live. Today we will see what is the probability of hitting dart to the dartboard. So this is the dartboard. Normal shape of dartboard is square shape, and inside that the score parts, that is the circles which decide the scores, are printed in different colors or same shade of colors, and the outermost circle is touching the square from inside. So let's draw the dartboard here. This is the board. There is one circle which is touching the square from inside, from all sides, and we have to see the probability of hitting the dart or arrows. So we have to see the probability of throwing the dart or hitting the dart or arrow in the circle, assuming that whenever we throw the dart, it will hit somewhere on the square. It will not go outside the square. So when I throw the dart, it can hit anywhere in the circle. Anywhere in the circle it can hit, or it can hit anywhere on the square. So let's talk about the total chance. Without condition that it will hit only in circle, it can hit anywhere on square. So the denominator will be the total number of points, total number of small points in this square. So how we can count the total number of points? Because even this point have infinite number of points inside that. So how we can count the total number of points? Okay, we can change the unit. Instead of saying point, we will see how much area it is covering. So we will calculate the area of that square, and it will be the denominator, because we can hit anywhere on that area. So the part in which we are interested in calculating the number of points inside the circle, so that we can hit on that points to get the score. Now here also, instead of counting number of points, we will count how much area the circle is covering. So we will count the area of circle. Now area of circle is pi r square, and area of square is side square. So side square, let's say a square. Now, is there any relation between S and R? In general, there is no relation, but in this diagram or in this type of diagram, there is a relation between S and R. Because if you observe the radius, this is the radius. We know radius is just half of diameter. Radius is just half of diameter, and the diameter of circle is same as the side length of the square, which means we can say the radius is half of the side length of square, or we can say side length of square is twice of radius of circle. So just replace S with 2r, which means 2r, because side is twice of radius. Side is twice of radius. So we will write here 2r bracket square. And when we simplify this, it will be pi r square upon 2 square is 4, r square is r square only, and we can cancel here r square. So answer will be just pi by 4, and that is the probability of hitting the dart in anywhere in the outer circle on the dartboard. So this is the probability of that, but we are interested in getting more and more scores. So let's again draw the dartboard neatly. Let's take this board only. So let's make some variables. X is variable and P is probability of getting that variable. Okay, let's come from outside. Okay, we are all human beings, so it is not possible that every throw by a normal person, not expert person, every throw by a normal person will not hit the dartboard. It can go outside the dartboard also. So let's say we will get 0 score by hitting outside the dartboard, or we can get only 1 point when we hit inside the square but outside all circles. So there we can get 1 point, and then we can get here 2 points, in this circle 3 points, in this circle 4 points, in this circle 5 points, and for this circle 6 points. So let's take these points 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. So this is the only chances. Either we can get 0 score or 1 score or 2 score or 3 or 4 or 5 or 6. Now we will just imagine the probabilities. The probability of getting 0 score is, let's say, 20%. There is 20% chance that our throw will go outside the board. And it can happen because of the direction of air or speed of air or anything, any disturbances from outside or from inside, it can happen. Now the probability of getting 0.1 is, let's say, 0.3, that is 30%. There is 30% chance that we will hit on the board, but we will get only 1 point. Now there is 20% chance of getting 0.2, then there are 10% chance of getting 0.3, then again there is 10% chance of getting 0.4, then there is 8% chance of hitting on 0.5, 8%, not 80%, so it will be 0.08, and there is only 2% chance that we will hit in the center of circle, assuming we are normal person, not expert person. Now if you have watched the part 1 or part 2, that is day 1 or day 2, I don't remember which video was that, but in that I have explained the expected value. Expected value means the result which we can expect when we play the game many number of times. We are playing this game continuously. So what is the expected result as an average for all games? So it is not necessary that on every game we will get that result, but when you play that game forever for many number of times, then it is possible that average score of your all matches, of your all games, will be that expected value. So let's calculate what is expected value, E of x. The formula for E of x is summation xp. So let's calculate this summation xp. 0 into 0.2 is 0, 1 into 0.3 is 0.3, plus 2 into 0.2 is 0.4, plus 3 into 0.1 is 0.3, this will be 0.4, this will be 0.4 again, and this will be 0.12. So when we add all these results, it will 0.3 plus 0.4 is 0.7, plus 0.3 will be 1, plus 0.4 1.4, 1.8 and 1.92. So there is very high chance that we will get average score as 1.9, which means we can get somewhere around 2. Let's say our expected score is 2 according to these probabilities. If you are expert, then your probabilities will shift on this side and the expected value will also increase.